Go away, bear! Goddamn bears! Guys, who puts bears in the woods? Get ready to die in this open world roguelike that is Stoneshard. Early access. Today I'll be going through the recently released turn-based roguelike that has killed me over and over. Oh! Fuck! Oh no! God! This guy's amazing! I gotta pee! As always, I am Mr. Laggy. Well, that hasn't changed. Help out the algorithm by leaving a like below and leaving your comments. Subscribe and follow me on Twitch and Twitter. Let's get into this. You may be asking, like I did the morning of this game's release, what is Stoneshard? Well, turns out it's an open world, turn-based roguelike that was developed by Inkstains Games, which is a small development team out of Russia. Maybe they hacked into my Steam account to tell me to buy this. Oh no! More on Russiagate later. It's important to note that this game is currently in early access beta, and not all the content is available just yet. As of this recording, we are on version 0.5.7.14, whatever that means. I intend to do future reviews, providing this game continues to hold my attention. We start out in a classically dank dungeon, held captive by some sentient creature that obviously was once human. To escape, we must frisk the corpse of our fallen companion and find out exactly where he stuck those lockpicks so the guards couldn't find them. Once out, we must beat our guard to death with a metal pipe and find the rest of our party. I get a real D&D vibe here from this guy and his party, and emphasize with his need to get back and save them. In order to do so, he must navigate the halls of this ever-changing dungeon, which are filled with monsters, traps, and all sorts of boxes. It's important to know that this will not be our main character for the long term. So, a note to those who are just starting. Use everything you find to your advantage on the main boss, as you're gonna need it. You're not taking any of this inventory with you, and if you die, which I'm sure you will, everything will change. That's right, once you die, the entire dungeon changes before you, providing a very different experience in your next attempt. Save points as of right now are few and far between and only can be done in certain locations that are actually static and can't be randomized. And since most of the place is randomized, they are few. Since its release, they have added a couple of save points on the main overworld, but I hope this doesn't go too far, as I enjoy the risk of going too long without saving and losing everything I just spent an hour and a half on. This prologue adventure can be played for free on Steam, so go out and try it out. This is a good example of what the game has to offer. Now, this character levels a hell of a lot faster than your main character and gets a lot more magical drops. So don't expect it to be so hand-holdy once you leave this cursed abbey. I was hooked. Had to buy this immediately after beating this part. If you know Laggy, you know he loves turn-based games, open-world games, and he loves roguelikes. This seems to have everything he likes all in one. So after playing about 10 hours beyond this point, does this game still hold up? Let's break down what is and is not in the game so far. That I know of, at least. I'm sure there's more. Once completing the prologue, we are able to choose a hero from this list of 4. Each comes with their own unique trait, as well as pre-learned weapon or magic skill trees. This does not lock you into a specific build, however, as you can spec these characters any way you want to. You just need to read books to unlock new skill trees. It'll be some time before we can actually create our own characters, so let's get to know the characters that we do have so we know what to expect. We've got Jorgrim, the Reaver. He's our classic barbarian type, so his unique trait is Berserker Frenzy. He'll get 15% weapon damage and 20% increased critical efficiency for 10 turns after killing an enemy. So this can stack. So as there's more enemies he kills, he gets stronger and stronger with weapon damage. Then we've got Arna, Maiden Knight. She's got Vow of the Feet. For each enemy within our vision, receive minus 5% cooldown duration and minus 5% ability energy cost. So she ends up being able to use her abilities more frequently than other characters, depending on how many people are around her. Got Derwin, the Woodward. It's got Sharp Eye. For the first time an enemy enters your vision, they receive minus 10% dodge chance and plus 10% damage taken for 10 turns. He's our classic ranger, right? He's got daggers, axes, ranged weapons, which is bows. That's it. And maces. Hopefully, maybe there'll be crossbows or something in the future to make that not just say bows. And lastly, we've got Juna? Whatever she is, she's a runaway sorceress. That comes with arcane lore. Each learned spell grants plus 2% magic power. So she comes with pyromancy and geomancy skills unlocked. What that means is you can put points into them. She doesn't come with these out of the gate. You still have to put points in them, but they are unlocked and available for you to put points into. So she's our spellcaster. Unfortunately, at this point, only pyromancy and geomancy are available. So there are 7 other sorceries that are not available just yet in the beta that they're working on. There are 4 weapon masteries, and pretty much all these utilities are still being worked on. This exists, but really the only thing you use is detect traps. So this whole tree needs to be worked on. All of this is unavailable right now. As a reminder, this is still an early access beta, so any of this can change. If something doesn't mesh well with their game, they could just remove it. Hopefully they add more than they remove. Right now, they're showing us what they believe will be in the game come launch. And my God, I want astromancy. What is this going to be? Am I going to be able to control space and time? Oh man. Now this is what I'm excited about right here, these two. But let's not talk about what isn't in the game. Rather, let's talk about what's in the game. With 8 weapon, 2 magic skill trees, and the classic light, medium, and heavy armor, you can craft yourself a pretty unique hero each time you play. With each weapon and piece of armor comes a number of different stats. Possibly too many, actually. There is a lot to think about and juggle from piece to piece with no explanation what a lot of it does. This can make decision time difficult when you want to try and replace an old item. Also, it makes it very difficult to get a drop of an item that you need, right? If you're looking for a ring with very specific stats, you're probably not going to find it as there's too many options and too few drops. It does make the moment epic when you do find your new piece though. So we built our character and we need to go murder things. We get our quests from the local elder and go explore. These quests will undoubtedly send us to the local ruins and cemeteries we see on our new map. I will say from my experience thus far, I don't know how much is actually in this game right now. When bringing up the map, we see a number of question marks, and they almost always lead to little bandit camps. Not a whole lot of variety. Almost none, actually. Then when we take quests, we are sent to the local dungeons, which can also feel the same as well. As, cemetery locations all feel the same, whereas ruined forts all feel the same. Just with different difficulties. This part does have me concerned. But I also must remind myself that this is very early access, and I'm hopeful that they will go and change a whole bunch of these things as they continue to produce content. As we go exploring, we'll come across everything from wolves and bears to skeletal necromancers. Combat can be a lot of fun, given the right set of moves, of course. But there is definitely a learning curve here. Even with a higher armor and shield, charging into battle with no plan almost always leads to death. This can lead to cheesing the game a little bit by ranged kiting, but it's by no means a flawless tactic. Remaking my character over and over to find the right combination of skills is part of the fun for me, but I'm sure it's not for everybody. I mean, this is why I love Divinity Original Sin 2 so much. I'm always restarting, trying to figure out the next best combination of skills and team members. And once they release all their spells in this, I'll be making a lot of different characters. What makes this game extremely unique, however, is the randomization of the world you're in. The only static places are the towns. The locations of all the other points of interest are all randomized, and the dungeons are random as well. From what I can tell, the world locations are set upon starting the game, but the mobs and dungeons will randomize each time you die. This makes dying with an awesome new item extra hard, as it will most assuredly not be there when you come back. Alright, Laggy, you've talked enough at this point. Just tell us what you think of it. Guys, I love this game! It's by no means complete right now, but I love what it's doing, and I have high hopes for what it will become in the future. I haven't played anything specifically like this, but it's very familiar as it feels like a combination of many games I've loved in the past. There are definitely elements that I would like to add to this, first and foremost being a multiplayer aspect. I realize it would be very difficult with the free roaming yet turn-based situations, but this would be a lot of fun to play with friends. If it can't be done online, at least having party members to bring with me would be sufficient. With so many skill trees and combinations, only being able to play it as one character at a time is such a tease. I want to try out as many combinations without having to replay the whole game over and over again. So having a party to go in there with and trying to set up like your tank, your DPS, your healer, and keep them all alive as monsters come from all angles, that would be so exciting. It would also be great to have combination effects with the elements. Say you've got some water magic, you hit them, they get wet, as there is already raining in the game, and then you hit them with electricity, and then they're shocked. I mean, I'm pulling this from Divinity, obviously, but it's an amazing mechanic that would work really well here, especially if you were able to, say, add lightning effects to your weapons or set your arrows on fire, those kinds of things, to give more interest into speccing into both magic and fighting skills. But that has been my review, folks. And as always, like below, subscribe, follow me on Twitch and Twitter, and leave me some comments, guys. Are you playing this game? Have you played the prologue? Have you purchased it and played the full game? Tell me what you think of it, what your pros and cons are. Not just cons, but the pros too. And we'll have a discussion. I'm curious to see what the general opinion is from my viewers. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.